In this video we are going to explore how to automatically choose whether to cut or to ignore certain layers of geometry within ZebraCut. So I have here a file, I have a number of different layers. So I have here an externals layer, I have a text layer in light blue, so this is the text. But I also have another text layer in red, which has much larger text numbers in here. This layer I do not want to cut. So clearly if I don't want to cut it, I can turn off the layer here, set it to ignore, but that is a manual process and I would much rather do that automatically. So to do that I will go to Advanced and I'll go to Set Up Automations. That will bring up this window here. And in this window we have our automation collection and a list of automations that have been defined. We're going to add a new one, which is going to be a new layer cutting automation. We will add that. And we're going to call this ignore text layer. We then need to decide when this is going to run, and I'm going to choose to apply this always. So for every single file that I open or import, I'm going to run this automation. So I'm going to say apply always. So then we can collapse that. Now we need to edit the automation to make it do something. And you can see here we have this sentence here. So when any conditions are met, cut the layer. In this case you want to ignore, and then we need to add a condition. So we've got a list of conditions here. Conditions can be things like the color of the layer, or you can use the process, so the tool the process is using, or the name of the process. But in this case we just want to use the layer name. So we'll select layer name and we'll add a condition based on the layer name. Let's now edit that, and we're going to have when the layer is called text, and I'm going to match the case so it's only capital letters of text that's going to be matched. So this should now read, when any conditions are met, ignore the layer, and the condition is that the layer name is equal to text. So that should do what we want. We can test that by running test, and you'll see that the text layer there is unticked, that is, it is ignored. So let us save this automation like that. Let us close this. We're prompted to save again. And if I now revert this file just to reopen it, you will see that the layer is now ignored. So automatically it comes in with that layer ignored. There we go. So just to recap, in our automations, we've now got a layer cutting automation, and we have in that we have edited it to have a condition that says when any conditions are met, ignore the layer, and the layer condition is based on the layer name and it must exactly match text. One good tip for this is sometimes it's quite useful to have a layer cutting automation that matches all layers and makes every layer ignored, that is, no layers will be cut, and then another layer cutting automation which turns on the specific layers that you want to cut. And in that way you can deal with files which have random file names, extraneous layers, and you only cut the ones you want to cut. So for example, you might first of all have an automation that ignores all layers, and then secondly you have an automation which turns on, i.e. cuts the pen layer and the laser layer, for example. So you can do that. But there we go. That is how you automatically set the cut or ignore flag for different layers within ZebraCut. Thank you very much.